Okay, today we are going to start a new chapter. It is called Indigo, and it is written by Louis Fisher. We are all aware that how India, evolved in the leadership of Mahatma Gandhi. So this is what the chapter is going to highlight. That a good leadership can help you, overcome your problems, and even you can overcome slavery. Understand? So it is written by Louis Fisher. He was born in the year 1896 in Philadelphia. He served as volunteer in the British Army between 1918 and 1920, right? Fisher made a career as a journalist and wrote for the New York Times, the Saturday Review, and for European and Asian publications. So he was an editor, right? He was also a member of the faculty at Princeton University, which is in America. The following is an excerpt from his book, The Life of Mahatma Gandhi, and the chapter Indigo. It is an excerpt from the book called The Life of Mahatma Gandhi. Please do not smile, stay focused what we are doing, because I am teaching this for your sake. I am already aware of the story. I am not going to sit and give the examination. You are going to sit and give the examination, and I can read your expressions behind your mask, right? So try to pay attention. I am not fooled. So the book has been reviewed as one of the best books ever written on Gandhi by Times Educational Supplement. According to this Times Educational Supplement, this book is one of the kind which that is ever written on Mahatma Gandhi's life. So glossary here: urge the departure means force them to leave India, harbor a man life, support a man life, and give a shelter to a man. Conflict of duties, it is called dilemma, right? And seek a prop means seek a help or substitute. So listen, when I first visited Gandhi in 1942 at his ashram in Sevagram in central India, he said, I will tell you how it happened that I decided to urge the departure of the British. It was in 1917. So in the year 1942, Louis Fisher met Mahatma Gandhi. And where was Mahatma Gandhi at that time? He was at his ashram in central India. And this is where Gandhi narrated that how he forced British to leave India. You're all aware that they were so cruel, their atrocities. It is well known to us because you cannot understand the freedom. What is freedom is like, because you born in an independent India, so you don't know what it's like to be ruled or governed by a foreign power, because you will never realize, because you are born in an independent India. Only they can realize. At least you can have some sympathy, and you can actually contribute to this world by empowering yourself with good education and being a good person. That you can do. That is up to you. So Gandhiji narrated in 1917, it was in 1917, and I think the World War broke in 1913, Second World War. Okay, it had gone to the December 1916 annual convention of the Indian National Congress Party in Lucknow. There were 2,300 delegates and many visitors. So that time, this annual convention of the Indian National Congress was happening in Lucknow, and there were like 2,301 delegates. Delegates, they're from different places, and they were visitors too. During the proceedings, Gandhi recounted, and Gandhiji was also there. He was present at this conference, this annual convention of Indian National Congress, and he recalled an incident. He was visited by a peasant. Peasant means a farmer, right? A poor farmer who came up to me looking like any other peasant in India. Any other peasant in India means in those times their conditions were miserable. They were pathetic, right? Not enough clothes, malnourished, tortured by British landlords, right? Cannot even voice against the cruelty, right? Even in their own country, because we were slaves. So this was the plight of those peasants. So he came to Gandhiji, and Gandhiji was there. Poor and emaciated. Emaciated means malnourished. He was very weak and feeble, and said, I am Rajkumar Shukla. Who he was? He was Rajkumar Shukla. The peasant's name was Rajkumar Shukla. I am from Champaran. Champaran is in Bihar. He said, I am from Champaran and I want you to come to my district. And he requested Gandhiji to come to his district. It was in the foothills of the towering Himalayas. And where does the city lie? It is the foothills of Himalayas, right? And it is also near, adjacent, close to the kingdom of Nepal. Which place? Champaran. We're talking about Champaran, right? So, I mean, what was the difficult situation? I mean, what was his ordeal? Ordeal means plight, P-L-I-G-H-T. Plight means what was his problem, what was troubling him, what was his difficult situation. So, according to an ancient arrangement, you know, we had so many arrangements made by those British landlords and the British people, right? So, according to this arrangement, the Champaran peasant was sharecroppers. You understand sharecroppers? Suppose if this is a piece of land and you do not own it, you don't own it, right? So you will be given this portion to grow your crop. You will be asked that you can grow crops in this portion. So this is called sharecropping, and plus whatever the outcome is, you will share. Whatever the outcome you will get, you will have to pay it as a compensation or as a rent for this sharecropping. So this is very absurd. You're living in your own world. You don't have your land. It is owned by British people. You're only allowed to grow the crop. You will only sharecropping, and also you will pay the rent. So this is it was very ridiculous, right? So Rajkumar Shukla was one of them. He was one of those peasants who were abused or tortured by those British landlords. He was illiterate. Illiterate means he was uneducated, and resolute, but he was resolute. So you can actually see illiterate and resolute. So he was determined. Resolute means he was determined. He was uneducated, but he was determined that he needs to do something in order to read. From page number 47, first, last line. Congress sessions to complain.
Congress session.
Congress session to complain.
Congress session to complain about the injustice of the landlord system in Bihar, and somebody had probably said, "Speak to Gandhi."
Okay, so he came to this Indian National Congress in order to convey his plight, right? And somebody told him that you should meet Mahatma Gandhi. He may help you out, because there were so many delegates from the different parts, and he wanted to speak against. He wanted to inform them against the British landlord system.
Gandhi told
Shukla,
he had an appointment in
it's Kanpur. This is old name.
Kanpur, and was also committed to go to other parts of India. Shukla accompanied him everywhere. Then Gandhi returned to his ashram near Ahmedabad. Shukla followed him to the ashram. For weeks, he never left Gandhi's side.
Okay, so this paragraph highlights that why this peasant is called resolute, determined. Because when he met Gandhiji, Gandhiji said, because Gandhiji, that time Gandhiji knew nothing about Champaran. He did not know anything about the plight or the miserable condition of Indian peasants, right? So Gandhiji did not pay attention to him that time, because Gandhiji was engrossed. He was so busy. He said that I have appointment. I'm here at Lucknow, and then I have to go to Kanpur because I have to, I have so many appointments, and then I have to go to other parts of India. So how can I give you date? But Rajkumar Shukla, he followed Gandhiji everywhere. Gandhiji went to Kanpur. He followed Gandhiji to Kanpur, and then Gandhiji returned to his ashram near Ahmedabad, and he also followed Gandhiji in Ahmedabad. Shukla followed Gandhiji everywhere. For weeks he never left Gandhi's side. It means, and those times they were not even traveling by bike or car or train, right? They were actually on foot, or they were only less people were able to use some vehicle or other thing. So he was following Gandhiji everywhere. from Kanpur to Ahmedabad and Ahmedabad to and back to his ashram again, right? So finally begged Gandhiji that please fix a date. Impressed by the sheer corpus tenacity, tenacity means determination, right? Gandhiji was so impressed. If you have, Gandhiji was so, Gandhiji was so impressed. He was so impressed because Gandhiji did not expect that he would be so resolute, right? So he said, okay. Then Gandhiji agreed. He said, I have to be in Calcutta on such and such day. He said, Gandhiji said that on this day I will be in Calcutta, and what you have to do is you come to Calcutta and meet me and take me from there, right? And meet me there. So Gandhiji said that on so and so this date I will be in Calcutta. You come and meet me there, right? So months passed. Shukla was sitting on his hunches. Hunches means the way we sit. When you fold your legs. Fold your legs. So he was sitting there at the appointed spot in Calcutta when Gandhi arrived. So he reached there. He had reached there before Gandhiji, right? And when Gandhiji saw him, Gandhiji said he waited till Gandhi was free. Then two of the men boarded a train for the city of Patna. So this is actually, you need to remember, right? So they actually started from बनाने की जरूरत नहीं है. I don't think there will be any MCQs because these are facts, right? Where you have to memorize things. So because we don't know, but you will, you're likely to get assertion or conceptual based MCQs. But we are reading it, so we have to, read thoroughly. Got my point? So Calcutta, and then they boarded the train to where? Patna. From Calcutta they went to they boarded a train for the city of Patna in Bihar. And Patna, where is Patna? It is in Bihar. I am just writing so that you will understand. There Shukla led him to the house of a lawyer named Rajendra Prasad, who later became the President Congress Party and President of India. Right? Rajendra Prasad, are you aware of this name?
Yes, President of India.
The President of Indian National Congress and the President of India, right? So they reached Patna, and then Shukla took Gandhiji to Rajendra Prasad's house. He took Gandhiji to Rajendra Prasad's house, and the reason is, at that time Rajendra Prasad was out of town. Please pay attention to it. Rajendra Prasad, he was out of town. But the servants knew Shukla as a poor yeoman. Yeoman means farmer. What does it mean? It means farmer. But Rajendra Prasad's servant, he was aware that Rajkumar Shukla is one of the peasants, one of the farmers who pestered. Pestered means pestered. What do you mean by pestered? Torment means, torment क्या होता है? जब हम किसी को यातना देते हैं, पीड़ा देते हैं. Pester मतलब ये होता है when we torture somebody, or we So he was actually because this fellow is very consistent. You can see he's very consistent because he followed Gandhiji everywhere, right? And before Gandhiji, he was probably asking for help from Rajendra Prasad, because Rajendra Prasad was President of Indian National Congress, right? So that is why he was so consistent, and this servant remembers that he is one of the peasants who pesters my master. And so they let him stay on the grounds with his companion Gandhi, whom they took to be another peasant. And the servant thought, he mistook Gandhiji as one of the peasants and as one of the untouchables, right? So Rajendra Prasad, Shukla's servant, he mistook Gandhiji as what? Untouchable. As one of the untouchables, because we had so many social evils in India in those times, right? Sati Pratha, right? Untouchability and all that stuff. So he mistook Gandhiji as untouchable, and he asked them to sit on the ground. The servant asked them to sit on the ground, and Gandhiji was not even allowed. Permitted means allowed. Gandhiji was not permitted to draw water from the well, lest some drops from his bucket pollute the entire source. Please underline this. Less way, there is less means less always. This is should. This gives a negative meaning. For example, you should study lest you fail. There's a negative. So what is something going on there? Leave your bag. What is in your bag? So Gandhiji, what happened? Please pay attention here. What happened? So Gandhiji was not allowed to draw water from the well because he thought that if even a single drop, if it gets touched by Gandhiji, it will pollute the whole water. So this was one of the social evils that people had to face, in those times. And then what happened? Gandhi decided to go to Muzaffarpur and Calcutta, Patna, and then where did they go? They went to Muzaffarpur, whom he had seen at Tagore Shanti Niketan at school. Gandhi decided to go first to Muzaffarpur, which was en route to Champaran, right? Because they are actually en route to where? Champaran. Their final destination is Champaran. So en route to Muzaffarpur, it lies in the middle of their itinerary, right? And who they want to meet? They want to meet. Gandhiji decided to go to first Muzaffarpur, which was en route to Champaran, to obtain more complete information about conditions than Shukla was capable of imparting. Because Shukla could not provide enough information to Gandhiji, that is why Gandhiji decided that he would first stop at Muzaffarpur and he would try to avail more information. So he accordingly sent a telegram to a professor called J.V. Kripalani. So he wrote a letter to whom? He wrote a professor. His name is J.V. First they went to Rajendra Prasad's house, who was a president, and then they decided they would go to this professor's house, who is known as J.V. Kripalani, and he is the professor of the art college in Muzaffarpur, whom he had seen Tagore Shanti Niketan school. Gandhiji had noticed him where? At Tagore Shanti Niketan school. Whom did he notice there? J.V. Kripalani. Who is J.V. Kripalani? He is a professor at Arts College of Muzaffarpur. Understand? And the reason of this meet, why did he write a letter to him? To get more information on the condition of Champaran. Let Ayush read. You will read page number 48. Page number 48. Arrived at midnight. Page number 48, first line.
Arrived at midnight, 15 April 1970. Kripalani was waiting at the station with a large body of students. Gandhi stayed there for 2 days in the home of Professor Malkani, the teacher in the government school.
So please do not confuse this. We have a professor, his name is J.V. Kripalani, and then there is another professor, his name is Malkani, right? So, it is actually a teacher in government, so there are two persons. There are actually two persons, right? Just hold on. So when they reached, when they arrived at midnight in Muzaffarpur, there was a huge crowd of students. They were waiting for Mahatma Gandhiji with Professor Kripalani, and when they reached this place, they did not stay at the house of Kripalani. They actually stayed at the house of a teacher in government school. So it was very extraordinary things in those days, Gandhi commented. Why it was an extraordinary thing? Because for a government professor to harbor a man like me in smaller localities, the Indians were afraid to show sympathy for advocates of home rule, right? Because it was very extraordinary thing. Because if you will offer your help to somebody who is actually advocating home rule means that we will have our own rule. We will not be governed by the foreign body, right? So if somebody is, the British, they were very cruel, because as soon as we try to raise our voice, we will be suppressed, right? Understand? We are tortured, we are beaten up, right? And maybe killed. So it was a great thing, a very extraordinary thing that Gandhiji was offered shelter by a government professor. Understand? Because for clerical job, who did British people hired? They hired Indian, right? For the higher post, there will always the British. But for the the lower grade jobs, who will be there? The Indians will be there, right? So I think that was very appreciable and commendable. The news of Gandhi's advent. Advent means arrival. Advent means arrival. So the news of Gandhi's advent and of the nature of his mission spread quickly through Muzaffarpur and to Champaran. Sharecroppers from Champaran began arriving on foot by conveyance. Conveyance means transportation to see their champion, right? So what happened after that? When this news spread that there is a Mahatma, his name is Gandhiji, and he is actually advocating home rule. He is voicing against this ancient system of British landlord, right? This landlord system. So the peasants, they walked to Muzaffarpur and they used any kind of transportation which they can find in order to reach Muzaffarpur, right? Muzaffarpur lawyers called on Gandhi to brief him. They frequently represented peasant groups in court. They told him about their cases and reported the size of their fee. But there were actually some peasants who took this case to the court, but they were not relieved. Why? Because who was the governing body? The British people. Who was in the High Court? Who was in the Supreme Court? Who was in the court? The British people were there in the court, right? So they would hardly listen to the plight, because they would not even allow them to come to the court, right? Initially. So there were few peasants who raised their voice and they hired, the lawyers. But the lawyers were so expensive. The Indian lawyers, the lawyers who were Indian, they even charge a huge amount of fees from the Indian people, right? So it was a very sad thing that our own people are asking for a huge amount of money to represent their case in the court. So Gandhi Chidit means scolded. What does it mean? It means scolded. So Gandhiji scolded them. Gandhiji scolded them. Why did he scold them? Because they were actually collecting a huge amount of fees from the sharecropper, and he said, I have come to the conclusion that we should stop going to the law courts. And Gandhiji at once decided that there is no point of going to law courts. The reason you're aware that why. Taking such cases to the court does little good, because they will not help. So where the peasants are so crushed and fear-stricken, law courts are useless. Because these peasants, they were very timid. Timid means darpok. They were very timid. Because the first thing is you should be able to voice against any injustice, right? They were not even able to raise their voice, because we were not self-reliant. In those times, Indians were not very self-reliant. They were very scared. They lacked courage. And we were able to draw away British only when we united, only when we raised our voice. Understand? Because the masses have, masses can bring about a change. So they were fear-stricken. They were completely scared. So that is why if they are scared, if you are not even able to raise your voice, do you think somebody would listen to you? Nobody would listen to you. If you are not speaking about the injustice, how will they know that you are being tortured? Understand? If you are not fighting for your cause, nobody is going to, because nobody is concerned about you, unless and until you are concerned for yourself. So the real relief for them is to free from fear. So सबसे पहला क्या होगा? Just to make them free. Okay, so this is the portion that we have done today. What time exactly is?
24 minutes 50
24 minutes? Okay, so you just read the portion that we have just done. Okay, everyone, I am winding up this session right now.
Okay.